Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of radio amateur enthusiasts that take to the airwaves with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater, and it spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. Before our net gets underway this evening, I'll pause in case anybody needs to make a contact or has emergency transfer. Hearing none, again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So we'll see if we can get our net underway. Taking check-ins right now. We've got Gary checked in, K7HYB.
87QKU, and I have Lee on Skype and 7KC.
And we got KD7QKU and Lee, N7KC. Anybody else like to check in? Well, we have a scarce turnout this evening, but let's see if we can make the best of it. Let's go to Gary, K7HYB. Well, not getting any audio there. So I see N7QO is checked in via video link.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dave. I forgot to push the transmit button.
Well, now that you have your finger exercise out of the way for the evening, let's go for it.
Okay, let's see if I can get it done right this time. This is K7HYB, and I got a pretty decent video signal tonight. You can almost recognize me. The streaming is I'm on the link that Lee gave me directly from YouTube, and it doesn't seem to be too bad, but then it isn't too good either. So I suppose it works either way. Ron must have keyed the transmitter on, hard keyed it, because I was on checking in a little earlier tonight, and my face shot was not keying the transmitter. Woo! Oh, that's what's going on. All right, that's better. Okay, now let's see if I get the white shot here, and we can give you oh, you can't see Jean-Luc. You can see my call sign, but you can't see Jean-Luc Picard over here in the corner. Anyway, I had a fairly quiet day. Spent a good part of the day out in the shop doing inventory. I'm trying to sell down some of the components I have from this business I own, and get rid of some of the old inventory. So I've been counting stuff, make sure my counts are correct based on my inventory in my computer, and that's what I was doing. I worked on I worked a little bit on my vertical. I got to put my all-band vertical back up again. It was twisting and turning, and it needed to be re-guide. So I took it down, and I'm trying to figure out a way to put a slip ring on it so I can guy it. I only have two options to put guys up for it. So I'm pretty limited in what I can do. It's mounted on top of my my fence out here, my metal fence in the back, on the back part of the property, and it has to excuse me. I only have 2 points to the guy. If I had 3 points to the guy for guying, I would be able to. I'd have to get out into my green belt, and that's all full of thickets. Let me drop it here. Okay. So my signal is still no color in it. One of these days, I'll have to get back to work and get something working here. So anyway, that's all for me at this point. Back to you, Dave. We'll see what else is coming up from everybody on the net. K7HYB.
Thanks for that, Gary. This is KD7ZYM. Let's move over to Ron. KD7QKU.
KD7ZYM in the group, KD7QKU. Well, good evening, everyone. Another beautiful day. Let's see, I got 52 degrees here. Well, Lee and I was just having a conversation here on the phone. Kind of have neuropathy in my feet, and so I'm always in a quest for better socks, it seems like. And my son said he had bought, I don't know if you see the ads on TV or not, for Duluth clothes, shorts, and underwear and stuff. They're kind of comical ads. But, well, he bought some socks from them. He said they were merino wool socks. Kind of expensive, but he said, my goodness, they were the most comfortable socks he ever had. He told me he thought I would like them. So I kind of looked for them. I found some at the foot shoe store over here, and I bought those. But they were sort of athletic, and they were really smooth and real comfortable. But they had elastic around the middle of the foot, and my foot's kind of sensitive to the pressure on that sock, so I wasn't sure I wanted a bunch of those. But I bought one pair and tried them. So then I went down to REI. Got to look maybe yesterday, and I bought a pair of socks on that. And I decided I needed a little more cushion in the sole, so today I went back to REI over in Ethical, and I found a pair, and with their merino wool, they supposedly have a little more cushion in the sole. So I have them on tonight, and I'm trying them right now. They feel really pretty good. So anyway, that's what I've been up to today, along with a few other things. So let's go over to Mr. Lee.
Okay. This is N7KC Lee in Port Angeles. This is kind of an experiment right now. I've got my Bluetooth on, and I can hear myself through Ron's Skype. We're connected up here on Skype, and I can hear his audio from the 08 machine. So obviously it's getting in, but I'll be curious to have a report on is my audio strong enough, because I did notice the mic gain has been depressed 6 dB. So I'll just leave it right there. And I'm hearing okay, so that's kind of fun. I'm totally wireless now. I've got my Logitech wireless headset and mic on Skype, and I've got my Bluetooth in my right ear. So that's kind of complicated. I will try later. I'll try a little video, but at the moment I'll just play this initial round. I'll say good evening to Mr. Gary there now, and I did see N7 UOM and hi Dave. And so back to the net, N7KC for that.
Okay, Lee, KD7QKU piggybacking N7KC on video. And so let's move on down to Jim, N7QO, but I need to get a quick ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So Jim, N7QO, it's yours.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, my goodness, you fellows with the headsets. That's, I need to try that one of these days. It's another one of the 1,000 things on my list of things that I want to do. Lee, your audio is very clear, but just a little bit weak. Maybe if you just spoke a little bit louder, it would be better. But it sounds pretty darn good to me. Let's see, Gary. Well, not only can I not see John Luke, but I cannot see your call sign either. My 1.2 that I'm receiving here is not as clear as it normally is tonight for some reason or other. I seem to have some unusual interference on the 1.2 tonight. Wonder if one of my neighbors is doing something strange here in the neighborhood. No way to tell. Ron, reset. Ron, yeah, I don't know about socks. I have yet to find any that I truly like. I'm not sure. You said those, the ones from Duluth there had a little too much elastic for your preference. Was that it? And the ones now, well, I don't know. I still have about a dozen pairs that I need to wear out before I go buying any others, but I generally buy a whole pack and go searching for more after they wear out. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm a cheapskate, but that's what I do. Good to see you all. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
Connected, N7KC.
And this is Dave, 87ZYM in beautiful downtown Lake City. Well, beautiful weather this afternoon. It was a little late in arriving. It wasn't until about 1 o'clock till I finally found some sunshine here. Been sorting through some stuff in the basement. Got another box full of stuff off to Goodwill today. And had to go to Costco and get some grub. And came back home and did some domestic chores. Darn it, just have to get those out of the way. So that's been pretty much what I've been doing. Let's see, as far as video goes tonight, what I'm seeing is Gary K7HYB. I'm getting a P3 picture on him. KD7QKU, a P4. And Jim, N7QO, about a P2. So that's what I'm seeing in Lake City. But it's nice to have a turnout this evening with everybody there. And I think I'll just pass it back to the top of the net. We'll go to K7HYB, Gary.
KD7ZYM in the group, K7HYB. Well, the latency wasn't too bad a little earlier, but boy, it's really slow now. Geez, it would be nice if we could figure out how to get around this problem. God, because that's, with the signal quality on the 1.2 gig link out to me, I mean, I can see it. All right, let me flip over and get the wide shot. And Jim, take a look now and see if you can see my call signs right over just to the right of my head. See if you can read it. I probably can't, based on the input that I saw earlier tonight from the streaming, and probably not at all from the incoming signal on the coming back on 1.2 gig. Yeah, it was a nice day today. This afternoon was just beautiful. Spent some time outside in the garage doing some work on a new guy point for my all-band vertical, and I think I've got it pretty well worked out. I was looking for something that I've got some guy rings left over from another job, and I'm trying to figure out how to make a slip joint, and I found a flange, a plastic flange that came from an old plumbing fixture, and I'm in the process of getting that filed down and set up so that I can clamp it with a metal clamp to the mast on the vertical, and then I'll fit that over I'll clamp that flange, and I'll put the guy ring on the flange, and hopefully it'll rotate so that I can turn the antenna for the best guiding point. So that was the next thing, and got the inventory, and I just spent a good part of the evening earlier tonight, so let me drop it here. A good part of the evening tonight going over my inventory records for the business to see if my count was pretty close. And believe it or not, it was within a couple of counts. Now I've gone to all this trouble. I hope the heck I can find this. I'm trying to work with a fellow out in Dayton, Ohio. He's a distributor of electronic parts, and he has a need for some capacitors and stuff like that, and I'm hopeful I'll come up with some values he can use. Anyway, and I don't know what the temperature is out here. I have any access to my station, but I imagine it's probably in the low 50s, somewhere down in there. Anyway, finally see my call sign on the streaming. So, anyway, Jim, can you read my call sign now? Back to you, Dave. KD7ZYM, K7HYB.
This is KD7ZYM. Well, N7QO, you want to answer K7HYB?
Yes, Dave. No, Gary. Usually I am able to resolve your call sign adjacent your picture, but I'm unable to do so tonight. However, when your video titler comes on, I could see it perfectly well there. Of course, I do not have you in color, but anyway, that's my situation here this evening. I do have, like I said, I do have some unusual interference on my signal tonight here. Don't know what's going on. KD7ZYM N7QO.
Thank you for answering up there. Let's move on down to Ron, KD7QKU/N7KC.
Okay, this is KD7QKU again. Well, the pictures coming back tonight are just about the same as they always are. It's a little hard to read Gary's call sign, but I can almost read it. Last night we went over to the North Seattle Rock Club, and they had a guy there talking to us about fake rocks and fake gems and fake stones. Apparently, there's a big market in this stuff, and so they enhance the color, they glue up the cracks. You take a diamond or ruby or something, if it has a crack in it, the value is a lot less, so they can glue up the crack, I guess, with the, I don't know what it would be, but anyway, they can do it. And you can hardly detect it. And then they can irradiate stones, they can dye stones, they can coat stones. So what they'll do is they'll take like a quartz crystal, a piece of quartz crystal, which is worth like $3, and then they will dye it, or they will irradiate or do something, and they'll make it a different color. Maybe they'll make it, kind of an amber color or something, and they'll claim it's a different kind of a stone. And then they will ask like $2,000 for it. So I guess there's big money to be made in it. The more brilliant color a stone is, of course, I guess the more valuable it is. I remember once upon a time my wife's birthstone is emerald. I went down here to a jewelry store in the mall in Bellevue. Even Christmas, it was probably one of the smaller rings in the store, but it was also probably the prettiest green. It was a darker green. So I asked the price of that ring, and it was $4,500. And I know I was a little bit surprised. Needless to say, I didn't buy it. But I guess that's a big deal in stones. And so he was showing us all the different stones and how they can enhance the color on them, and they can try to sell them as something different. And they take, like I say, a cheap stone or a pale colored stone. Then he was talking about diamonds. Let me let it go. Anyway, he was talking about diamonds, and I guess, they can create diamonds, and I guess they're almost undistinguishable from the real thing. And there's, they have the same color, the same hardness, the same everything. And he was saying that. Then he had an example of a rock that they had hollowed out. I don't know if you're familiar with amethyst crystals or not, but anyway, they hollowed out a rock, and then they taken some amethyst, I guess, and broke it up, and then they put glue inside the hole in the rock, and then they put the amethyst small crystals in there, and then roll it all around, and then they stick. So they sell them, and so you get this rock with all the amethyst crystals in there, and so the pieces of amethyst aren't worth very much because they're small, but when they kind of pulverize them, break them up and put them inside this, then they can get, big bucks for it, get $150 or something for it. He said if you look real careful, sometimes you can see the glue around the edge. He said he got fooled, and he actually bought one, and that's kind of how he got started on checking out the faith that they have. There's a lot of places that, at our rock shows, we have a lot of dealers there that sell stuff. And he says in advertising, when they start stressing the name natural, all natural, you better be careful. Because it's man-made. All right, let's go over to Mr. Lee.
Okay, there's Lee in Port Angeles again. Well, listen, I bumped the audio gain up 6 dB, which will double the voltage, and before time to power. Anyway, we'll see how that works out. I have a rather normal bar graph here on the phone. Well, this business of fake gems and whatnot, there's nothing is sacred anymore, I don't think, You can't believe a video. If you see it, you can't believe anything. So, fake. Well, anyway, let's see here. I wonder if I can just make an attempt here to share a screen. I don't know what, my latency is considerable here, and also the darn thing won't stay on live. So let me see if I'm transmitting something here. Ron would know, I guess. Am I doing anything wrong? This is what Nigel used to do. Slackline. Yeah, I was a Green Lake here a few years ago and watched this guy do a slackline routine. His name was Jeremy. And he was pretty good. I've got audio mixed in with this thing. I annotated it, which is not being transmitted. Pretty sure of that. And believe it or not, it has not shown up on the screen here at my place yet. It's been going quite a while. And I'm getting down here. When I get down to just about no time, I'll abort, send it back to net. Okay, he's about half done, so I think I better quit and send it back to net. Okay, N7KC, Leo from Port Angeles, back to net.
Thanks for that, Lee. N7KC being brought video by 87QKU. Well, Lee, guy looks pretty agile. Now you have this video because you're going to start doing that, is that right?
Uh-huh.
Oh my, I think I could get the rope stretched out, but that'd be about as far as I could go. 87ZYM, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. And let's go to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, Ron, or excuse me, Lee, let me go to you first. I think your audio sounds better. Yeah, I concur with Dave. Jeremy appears to be pretty agile. I had no idea that Nigel was capable of doing that as well. Goodness, we have some talented folks in our group. If I attempted to do something like that, I think I would break myself in a permanent fashion. Pretty cool, though, and certainly entertaining to watch. That's the sort of thing that should be in a Las Vegas show, I guess. There's some television show where they have people perform and somehow they wind up with them winning $1 million and going to Las Vegas. Well, maybe he should apply for that. Ron, jewelry, yeah, boy. Once upon a time, my wife worked in a jewelry store. I'm not sure, but I think she got some sort of certification to appraise jewelry. But it is certainly so sophisticated, the way they modify things nowadays, truly amazing. I guess there's something to be said for the rock being natural. They just don't mention the Gorilla Glue or whatever else it is in there. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, this is Dave, 87ZYM, again, the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. Well, you know, Ron is pretty close to doing that. He put a 4x4 down in his backyard against the ground, and he's been walking that a couple of times a week, so I guess it won't be too long till the rope goes up in his backyard about 3 feet in the air, and he can do that. So, pulling Ron's leg there a little bit. But gosh, you know, the streaming video has been very interesting tonight. If you do the press on the live button just below the image, it seems to bring it back up in sync again, and sometimes you can get as far as a couple of minutes behind, and then sometimes get right back up live again. So it's kind of interesting what's happening with that streaming. I'm watching it on the direct on the YouTube site. So anyway, let's go back up to Gary, K7HYB.
KD7ZYM in the group, K7HYB, yeah. Well, Jim, you know, I would like to be able to recognize your pretty profile, but you're so pixelated there that, you know, I can tell there's something there. That's about it on the streaming. So, and obviously on the downlink 1.2, I can't see anything. I'm getting about a probably a P2.5 on the downlink tonight, which is a little better than I normally get. Normally I get about a 0.5 or sometimes a 0.05. I can actually see the sync bars. Let me go back to the white shot here, and the latency is it's in and out. I mean, sometimes it's pretty good, and sometimes it's pretty bad. I mean, it's really awful. But I guess that's the nature of the beast. It's the way it is. And Ron, I can understand how you feel about that emerald. I know that happens to be my birthstone, an emerald. And was a long time ago, probably 25 years, I guess, something like that. When I was a little more in the money, I bought myself an emerald, and with a very simple amount, and I don't remember what I paid for it, to be quite honest with you, but it was they're expensive. And you're right. There's even some of that stuff on when I was on a cruise here some years ago down in the Caribbean. That's one of the things that the people on board the ship. Let me drop it here for a second. And I'll let the repeaters have their big bad say and get their ID in. Anyway, that was one of the things that the people on board the ship, when we went off on shore at the locations, they said, stay away from everybody but the certified people, the people they recommended, because there was a lot of counterfeit trash out there. And so I've seen some of that. Don't claim to be any kind of an expert on it, but I do know that when I buy a ring or something like that, I usually try to get one that's what they call channel set, so there's no there's no stone sticking up over the edge and stuff like that. I do happen to have a 0.98 carat stone that my dad gave me in a very simple mounting. That was his gift to me shortly before he passed away. So that's the one thing I wear all the time in remembrance of my dad. Anyway, enough of my babble for this time around. Let me throw the ID up here, and we'll send it back to you, Dave, KD7ZYM.
Thanks for that, Gary. I guess you could be proud that you have an emerald. And I think the city of Seattle is known as the Emerald City. So when they announced that a number of years ago, it was amazing. We found in the media the price of emeralds. I guess the best ones come from South America. So let's go on to Ron, KD7GKU.
lot of things, I guess, out on the market. It's all generated by greed, but then some of the stuff isn't exactly greed. It's just people staggered or discovered things, like some of the slag that came out of some of the smelters. When you polish it, it's beautiful, you know. And then they had this stuff. It was called I forget what it was, Ford something. And apparently in the Ford factory, when they painted the cars, that the paint would accumulate on the floor, and it would get real thick, and so they would remove it. They would, you know, chip it off or whatever, and they threw it outside. Well, some guys found it, and they decided that they could polish it and make it so it looked like stone. You know, it had all different colors in it. Oh, it was absolutely beautiful stuff. But that's what they called it. They called it Ford something, with a stony name mixed in with it. But all it was paint, dried paint. And then, of course, like I say, the other stuff was the slag from smelters. And they were polishing that up too and filling it. It looked like crystals. It was actually gorgeous stuff. But anyway, a lot of the man-made or the synthetic stuff is really pretty. And turquoise, I guess, is another one that they make fake turquoise a lot. I don't really own any turquoise. I've always wanted a piece, but I don't know why I never have bought any. I never have bought it. But I like to find my stuff rather than buy it, but anyway, I don't have any turquoise. So anyway, that's about it here on rock. But it's kind of amazing what's out there. Oh, glass, of course. There's lots of glass stuff out there they make. That's really pretty. Well, you know, like seeing the glass blowers, but they can laminate it and make it really neat, swirl it and stuff, and then they can sell it, of course. But it's usually sold as glass. Okay, over to N7KC.
Okay, N7KC, Lee here over on the Olympic Peninsula. Beautiful day today. Yesterday was really nice, and we decided to take a little drive yesterday. Jumped in the car and went out 112 went down to Salt Creek Park and walked around a little bit and looked at stood up on the bluff up above, I think it's called Tongue Point, where all of the tide pools are. Oh, it was pretty. Tide was in. No tide pools really showing, I don't think. But we then went over to Joyce and had lunch at the Blackberry Cafe, kind of a well-known institution around here, and then came back to St. Andrews. And today, I thought I was going to get a whole lot done, but Grandma, I took her to the walk-in clinic. Paul was teaching a dancing class and couldn't do it. So that ate up about 3 hours of my morning. But I did manage to get some stuff done. Let's see, I've got a minute to go here. Maybe I can get a little time-lapse video going here. I did this over Sunset Hill Park over in Ballard. And out here someplace, I set up to do some time-lapse. So watch this. Look at those boats go in time-lapse. Okay, I better quit. I'm just about out of time.
lost your audio there, Lee, but I guess maybe you're handing it back. I'll check back with you there. N7KC.
Yeah, Dave, I'm sorry. I thought I sent it back to the net. N7KC is what I understood.
Boy, those ships look like they were some type of boat races going along. It was good to see. Let's go to Jim, N720.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, Lee, just for information, we did hear some audio, which I'm guessing originates from the video which you were transmitting. It was a bit subdued, but it was certainly there, just FYI. Let's see. Everyone's talking about the streaming being a little slow. I have actually given up on that. It's been more than a month. It was really good. The first net we had after the video repeater was moved on the mountain, and ever since then I have had problems with it, and so I have just given up on it. I don't know what to say. Several different reasons why that could be, but that's my 2 cents. Let's see. Lee, last time I was able to do a net, you were going to give us some story about waders. I don't remember what was going on there. It seems to me like, Ron, you were doing something perhaps with your boat, and you had boots and made some comment about should have gone with the waders rather than the boots. And I remember that, Lee, you had a story about waders, and we didn't have a chance to hear it on that net. Reset. Thank you, Mr. Repeaters. And so you may have talked about it on a subsequent net, which I missed. If you did, no need to repeat it on my behalf, but if you didn't, Lee, maybe you can tell us that story you had about waders. That's all I've got for now. KD7ZYM and 7QO.
And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 repeater. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, it's been an interesting net tonight. A lot of different discussions that have been going on. I'll give the audio back to Lee and see if he can answer Jim's question about the waders N720.
Yes, I can. This is N7KC, Lee. Okay, well, this is almost a scary story. It was shocking when we realized the situation. I used to work with a guy who wanted to go duck hunting, and I had done that sort of thing when I was a kid and all that, and I've got a nice Remington 12 Windmaster shotgun. And waders, I had all this stuff, you know. So Don and I got in his car and we drove up Cherry Valley, which is out there by the valley. And it turns out there's a state-sanctioned hunting area down in the valley. but we pulled into the parking lot. When the guy came in, that had been hunting down there, and he says, "Say, are you guys aware of that risk?" So he says, "Be careful." And so we go down and we tripped around there, and there's these little ditches that the water, you know, it wasn't exactly clear water, so you couldn't see way down in it. Angela saw it, and we wondered, well, I wonder what he meant by deep water. And it was a great big long. I took that board and I pushed it down and went down clear to the end. I mean, these were that, and they fill with water, and you're in big trouble. And so we tricked. So I always thank my lucky stars that guy mentioned us. Anyway, that's it from here. This has been 7K2, Lee in Port Angeles. Back to you now.
Okay, Lee, thanks with that. There was a little, I don't know if it was intermod or somebody trying to double on the 08 repeater, but we got about 80% of what you were talking about. So, from that, let's go back up to Gary, K7HYB.
K87ZYM and the group K7HYB. Well, I'll pass along that since a hurricane seems to be in the news, I'll pass along a little hurricane story I've got. Many years ago, and I've been retired over 20 years ago, 20 years as of the 31st of December 2017, believe it or not. But anyway, keep it short so we can get around here. I was working for FEMA, and I got called up to go down and work Hurricane Maryland and Opal in the same area that Michael went through. Obviously I wasn't there during the hurricane like the reporters are. I was in a hurricane, but that's another story, and I won't go there. But I was down at Panama City Beach, Florida, which is just a little bit west, about 20 miles west of Panama City. And I originally landed in Tallahassee, and then we drove over to Panama City Beach, and we set up a relief center or a processing center for disaster victims at an old Walmart store down there, and I spent 2 weeks down there helping people. I wasn't doing any processing, and I went down there as part of the computer group to set up data transmitting and stuff like that. So that's my hurricane story, and I'll keep it short. There's a lot more to it, but also I wanted to make a comment to Ron about the glass. You know, if you had a piece of jewelry, that would be worth something. then you'd be in the money. I've seen some of that stuff in one of the small pieces. I went to the museum and went down to display down at Seattle Center, and one of the pieces down there, one of the small ones, for $2,000, and I said, well, okay, that's out of my league. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Back to you folks, and I'll make my 73s on this one. KD7ZYM, K7HYB.
Thank you, Gary. We got your 7-3. Let's move on to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, this is KD7QKU. Well, Lee's talking about waders, and this morning I guess I was talking Dave on the phone, and we were talking about boots, hip boots, walking in the mud, and getting stuck in the mud and trying to pull one boot out, and in the process losing your balance and stepping out of the other boot into the mud, and then you got mud all over one foot, and then you've got to try to pull that boot out of the mud. I think that Dave's had that experience, and I think I've had that experience too. It can be kind of dangerous if you're by yourself, I think, all that stuff. So anyway, I guess what brought that up is I was watching a guy on a hunting show this morning, and he shot this deer, and it went out in this pond, probably went, I don't know, it didn't go too far, 50, 60 feet or something, and it died in the pond, and it was floating out there. And of course it's in the wintertime, and he decided he wanted to retrieve it. It was a real nice buck. And so his friend that he was hunting with, I guess he went back, gets a truck or rope or whatever it is. I don't know what he was going back to do. So this guy decided that he's going to wade in and swim out and get a hold of this deer and drag it back ashore. Well, he said that he almost died. That, hyperthermia, the water was so cold and everything. By the time he got to the deer, it wasn't that far away, but he did bring the deer back, and he had it on the shore. But he called his friend on his cell phone and told him that he was hypothermia. And 9 days both said that we have gotten so cold like that and wet, and you start shivering so bad you can't stop. And we were talking about that. But the guy said he almost died, that he was afraid he wasn't going to get back to shore, and he wasn't. It wasn't that far out. But, the amazing thing was, I watched these programs and listened to these people. Well, who was taking the picture? There must have been a cameraman there. Because I don't think he had the camera set up on a tripod. Oh, I don't know if he was in as much danger as he made himself out to be. Maybe the cameraman would have grabbed him by the hair of the head or something and pulled him from shore. I don't know. But I'm guessing there was a cameraman. All right, well, 73 is you guys, and I guess I'll turn it back to Lee.
Okay, you're good. Well, this is the in-7KC in Port Angeles. All right. Well, with a little bit of time here, I do have just one more little quick video here. It won't take very long. Some of you know Jim Hicks. Anyway, this is in his workshop. There, Jim, I took care of the audio. I didn't realize I was transferring. Probably had some music in it. Sorry about that. Anyway, there I've got the audio and the video shut off. You guys will probably recognize this as a vein pump. Anyway, Jim was working on somebody's vein pump tonight. It could have been a compressor, it could have been a vacuum pump. You can do it. You can pump pressure or a vacuum with such a thing. And Jim Hicks was quite a guy. He was the hands down the best collector of stuff I have ever known. I got to get these videos together and give to his son. I'll just try to get Disney to do that. I think I accidentally discovered these things looking for something important. Well, okay, it's just about over. Enough of that. What I'm going to say is 73 guys, it's been a great net. I've enjoyed it a lot, and we look to see you another time. So, in-7KC, we live in Port Angeles. Good night, all.
Thank you for your participation in the net this evening, Lee, in-7KC. Let's go to Jim, in-7QO.
In-7QO. Well, thank you, Lee, for the story, and thank you, Ron, for that story, too. Gary, boy, glass items, I couldn't do that. Some of those things are so fragile. It's like if I get my hand anywhere near to them, some of them will shatter. I don't know why that is, but Having said that, I'm not nearly as klutzy as my wife. She would agree with that, I'm sure. Although she might hit me for saying that. Gary, yeah, all these reporters going out in the middle of the hurricane, my goodness, that's something they should not do. I'm genuinely concerned about the safety for some of them. I don't know. I don't know if that's what their boss is directing them to do, and if I should write him a letter saying he should not command that, or if I should write him a letter saying he should not permit them to do that. Some of what I've seen on television is rather frightening. But, oh well. Well, thank you all for the pictures, and thanks for the stories. And I will say good night until the next net. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
Well, thank you, Gary, Ron, Lee, and Jim for being on the net this evening. Is there anything from anyone before we wrap it up? Hearing none, we'd like to thank the owners and operators of the 08 machine for allowing the Western Washington Amateur Television Society to utilize the 08 machine for our audio, for our net, our video net. It is held on Saturdays and Wednesdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. And again, appreciation for the CTAC Repeater Group for allowing us to use their machine. It's very vital to our net. So with that, on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, 87 BYM, signing off this evening at 2058. Good evening all.
N7KC disconnected.
hanging out with a little monster.